All right, so here we are in the basement workshop of SB Kennel.
Here we are.
We got two Iditarod mushers packing up their race sleds.
We do.
And Allie's going to give us a little tour of her sled.
Okay.
Speak up.
1,000 miles. You always wonder what the heck you put in a sled for 1,000 miles. So we've been in here packing and unpacking. You can kind of see mine and you can kind of see Alan's. So I was going to do a little unpacking job. Everyone needs a bag. You always need to carry around a bag. It's kind of a Iditarod purse. In your Iditarod purse, you always have to have sunglasses.
European.
Oh, that's right. Alan's is a European handbag, but mine's a purse. So you always need sunglasses. And then these sunglasses not only have dark lenses, but they also have lenses for snow. So hopefully we'll have some snow out there. And then I have 3 different sections. This section is my light section. It's dark out there as well, so I've got headlights, spare batteries. This section is the oh my goodness I'm cold section, so I've got quite a few chemical heat warmers, and I've got a whole bunch of different kinds of matches. Stormproof matches. Someone just sent me these stormproof matches, actually.
Thank you, Andrew.
Then, in addition to that, I'll put a whole bunch of more stuff in here as the race continues. But I've got my goggles. It's great to have a pair of goggles out there because when it's blizzarding and everything, you can't see anything unless you have goggles on. Goggles. I've got liners for my boots. I've got an extra pair of socks. I've got a spoon. Everyone needs a spoon. Zip ties. Extra snaps for harnesses. Bottoms for ski poles, and like I said, this bag will get filled up quite a bit more. Anyway, this is my purse. Then as we start looking more at the sled, a lot more of this has to do with dogs. This is my cooler. This is what we feed the dogs out of. It's a 5-gallon bucket, and it twists off so I can carry it in my sled full of dog food. As you'll notice, it is not full of dog food now. In order to make it full of dog food, you have a dog food cooker. And this is my cooker. You have a little seat for it to sit on the snow, because it'll melt down in the snow if you don't have that. You put your cooker down there. This is a 3-gallon capacity cooker. There you go. And I've got my dog dishes inside here. And there's a burner in there that you'll have to put. I always carry 3 bottles of heat with me, just in case I need to stop and camp somewhere. So, that's dog food. And then your other mandatory gear is a cold weather sleeping bag. Then I'll have to admit I have a little bit of a luxury accommodation here. This is a sleeping pad. And I traveled for many years without a sleeping pad, and then I borrowed Jim Lanier's about 4 years ago in White Mountain, and I slept on it until he yanked it out from under me and said, I gotta go! So I have carried one ever since. And then I've actually got a bivy sack, and that's when I do a lot of camping, I'll put my sleeping bag inside this bivy sack. Then I've got other mandatory gear, some snowshoes on the bottom of the sled here. I always keep them here. It keeps the sled a little more stiff. Runner plastics, this is not mandatory, but if you pull your runner plastics off, and you'll need an extra, it's like a flat tire. If you get a flat tire, you need a spare tire. Here are my spare tires. This is not a first aid kit. It is a first aid kit for my sled. So I've actually got hose clamps, wires, Allen wrench, that kind of a thing in here. So it's a first aid kit in sense. Now I've got garbage bags in case we go through a whole bunch of overflow. I've got cable drops so I can stake my dogs out if I need to. This is all where the heat stays, so I can grab it pretty easily. Now, I've got food, just in case I want to eat out there, and we are very lightweight in our food consumption. So we've got freeze-dried food, and you saw the spoon, so I'm good to go. This is kind of my, in case your lines fall apart. And so I've got kind of some spare line in here. I've got a spare harness, in case I need to tie stuff back together. This is my bags. There's 2 bags here. One bag I actually put straw in. Whenever I'm going to go camp out, I fill this bag with straw, and then I will actually lay it on top of my sled. It's full up on top of my sled, and I've got bungees right here attached to the sled, and I'll bungee it over so the straw stays on top. It's pretty convenient and quick to go through checkpoints. I have 2 pockets on the top. This pocket is empty because it's always full of dog snacks, and you don't want to have dog snacks inside right now. They'd be a little stinky. This is always full of extra gloves. So I'm sure I've got an extra pair of gloves or 2 in there right now. And then down at the bottom of my sled is the, oh my goodness, I got wet, it's really cold, that kind of a gear. And that always stays down at the bottom of my sled. It's in a red bag. And I've got Northern Outfitters wind gear. I've got a pair of mucklucks, just in case my feet get wet. And in addition to the mucklucks, I've got a little pair of Neos to go on top of the mucklucks. I've got a seal hat in case it's blizzarding cold out there. I've got extra mittens. I've got extra liners. I've got extra long johns, extra socks, and then I've got 2 little bags here to remind me to put some clothes that I wear around the kennel quite a bit. They go in here as well. Otherwise, in the back of the sled, you see I've got my thermos ready to go. It's going to be full of Gatorade most of the time. Cable drops in case we need to drop any dogs. And then last but not least, this is kind of the packet in the back where I've got some Gatorade, I've got some more matches, I've got a utility a knife and a wrench. And then on this side, I've got a spare headlight. You never know when you need a spare headlight. And I'm sure I'll pack quite a bit more, but with that I think I can make it a few miles down the trail. So there you go.
So, for everybody who ever wanted to know what goes in an Iditarod sled, there it is.